Test. Call to order, please. Could you please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance?
Please bow your head. Father God, we just thank you for this day, Father God. We just thank you for the beautiful weather you've given us today, Father. In the days to come, Father, we just thank you, Lord. We give you praise and glory. We ask that you bless this meeting, Father God. Give us the wisdom we need to run it, Father God. And Lord God, we just thank you for this beautiful city and parish, Father God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Gilbo and Councilman Tabar. Job well done today, guys. All right. We welcome you to the Lafayette Parish Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. Excuse me. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the speaker form to submit your information to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to Council Clerk Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 3-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rule of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, call 291 or nowadays 337-291-8800. Item number J025-2022, Mobile Food Establishment. Community Development and Planning is requesting amendment to include new sections to recognize a credit already paid this year by the current permittees. All righty. Okay, so what I would like to start off with is a little reading. Hold on, let's see here. Give me a few, guys. I just had it. Okay, I want to start off with Proverbs chapter 25, and it states, "The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." And the reason I read that is because we're coming up on the Easter holiday, and we have a lot of families who will go without this year, but not on our watch, guys. We're going to make sure that we do everything that we can do in the community, and at the end of the day, it's not about one individual, one organization. It's about our future, which are our children. Okay, so if you don't like me, there's many different organizations having functions going on next weekend, and they're asking for donations to help them with their Easter hunt or giveaway or whatnot, right? There's drop-off points at United Methodist Church on Louisiana Avenue, 2700 Louisiana Avenue. Get in touch with Pastor Johnson. He's taking donations for their Easter egg hunt, which will be held next weekend. You also have a Calvin Rubin at 312 Colt Lane. He's having an Easter egg hunt in Acadiana Park. You can go and donate any goods to his organization over there at 312 Cold Lane. And then you have my friend Robin McMillan. She has, she's picking up donations through KPEL, and she does candies, and she's been doing this for like many years, guys. So, you know, she's she's wonderful not only during Easter time, but she gives year-round, guys. I just had to put that in there for Ms. McMillan. And, of course, I have my annual Easter basket giveaway. I usually do an Easter egg hunt. This would be 21 years, but we're not doing the hunt itself, like she said, because of different circumstances, but we're going to still do an Easter basket giveaway. And we're going to be doing a basket fundraiser / donations this Saturday at 1000 Louisiana Avenue. Right on that corner, you can just stop by and drop off your baskets or donations or whatever you have to give to us. If it's something that we can't use, what I'll do is we're going to give it to one of the other organizations that could utilize it to make their function be a success. And I'm going to thank all you guys already because, you know, the one thing that I am very proud of, and everybody can contest to what I'm about to say, or should I say agree with what I'm about to say. This area, whenever there's a need, everyone steps up. Everyone steps, I don't care what it is. They need a toenail clip. You might have 5 people say, here's a toenail clip. You know, I mean, you know, I just like to have fun. Y'all don't pay me no mind. But, but on the serious side, that's how drastic it is in the area that we lived in. And that's what makes me so proud, not only to live here, but to serve here. Because everyone in this community always steps up to make things better for the less fortunate in our community. So from me and everyone else that I just read off of this list, we thank you ahead of time. Now, council announcements. Any council announcement? I get this here, I see it enough. Okay. Mayor President, you have the floor, sir. Where are you? There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to everyone who took the time to be with us today. We appreciate your participation. We have budget to actual comparison of major parish funds, February 2022 preliminary, and we have Director Toops behind me if you have any questions. Not seeing any. That's all I have.
Okay. Joint resolutions. This is a public hearing and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Ms. Sidney, could you please read for me?
Joint Resolution 11-2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council certifying compliance with public bid law relative to state project number H03562.
So moved by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussions? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Let's call for vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2, District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 12-2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council awarding project relative to state project number H03562.
Need a motion? So moved by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Carlson. Any council discussions? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Call for vote?
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 13-2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Joint Resolution 27-2021, authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 217 Ben B Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
So moved by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Gilbo. Any council discussions? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for vote?
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 14, 2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 404 Morgan Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
Need a motion? So moved by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussions? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for a vote?
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 15, 2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 134 Lena Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
Need a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussions? Seeing none, Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for vote?
District 1,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Ms. Cindy, could you please read?
Parish Ordinance 10, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Parish Ordinance 52, 2021, amending the fiscal year 21-22 operating and capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by decreasing council reserves in Fund 651 American Rescue Plan 21 Parish Fund in the amount of $2,960,000 and appropriating within the volunteer fire departments for volunteer fire department tanker truck 7.
Need a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Councilman Carlson, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, council members, I spoke to Chief Champagne just before the meeting today, and he said that he was concerned that as they were getting bids, that the lowest bid might have to be thrown out because it didn't meet the standards of what they were looking for, but the other two bids, there was a risk would actually go over this dollar amount just slightly. And so that he doesn't have to, they don't have to come back to us again for raising this dollar amount. He asked if we would amend this to make sure that whatever bid we're able to go with, it's enough money to cover it, and we can move forward with this, these pumper trucks, and we're not delaying it again another 30 days to go out to bid. So I'd like to offer an amendment to adjust the dollar amount, still coming out of the same fund, but amend it to be $2,975,000.
Moved by who's that? All right. Moved by Carlson, second by Nakan.
Gilbo.
All right. So after we do that, then we vote on it.
So the vote will be, she will call the vote on the amendment to change the dollar amount to $2,975,000.
Any public comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, yes.
just a point of clarification. I assume the mover, Councilman Carlson, your motion is incorporating as well the attached pertinent documents that are referred to, and that those documents would be amended to reflect that change as well?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So we need we need to do a motion again?
No, sir, he was just clarifying the motion is for
Okay.
$2,975,000 to change that amount in the ordinance and any pertinent backup documentation, budget analysis, et cetera.
Okay. So,
So we already have a motion and a second for that.
so we need a
and-
vote on it.
Yes, sir.
Get a vote on the amendment?
District,
He had asked for public comment, but yeah. But I think though when you had stopped, but there's no public comment.
All right.
Now call for the vote.
Okay, we need a vote on the amendment?
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1? Yes. The motion to amend to adjust the amount to $2,975,000 is approved.
You did show us as the vote, you did vote. It showed that you voted. Oh, she didn't call you district.
District 2? Yes. So the motion to adjust the amount to $2,975,000 is approved.
And I know this is not in your paperwork, Mr. Chair, but now we go back to the ordinance as amended, the original motion.
Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the original motion. As amended. You're gonna do a good job, Grasshopper.
District,
And there's no public comment.
Okay, thank you.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2? Yes. District 3?
Yes.
The motion to adopt as amended is approved. Parish Ordinance 13, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 21-22 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by consolidating funding totaling $764,953.43 from several correctional center fund projects within the Public Works Department Facilities Maintenance Division.
Need a motion? So moved by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussions? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for vote.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, I have one more announcement. I'm sorry we're going a little out of order here, but you know, when it's your birthday, sometimes you feel special and you be wanting to be treated like royalty or, you know, other things like that. So if y'all don't mind, can we give a grand happy, and you heard that, huh? You heard that, huh? Hey, I did that just for you, man. A grand happy birthday to Kevin Ntia. Oh, hold up. Let me tell you the birthday is today. That's right. And you'll be what? 60 who? But congratulations, Kevin. All right, moving on. Joint ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Ms. Cindy, could you please read for us?
Joint Ordinance 22-2022, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 21-22 operating budget and adjusting manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by reallocating the Secretary 1 position from the Human Services Division, Loan Section, to the Housing and Federal Programs Division by increasing the hourly pay rate of the same Secretary 1 position within the Community Development and Planning Department.
Need a motion? So moved by Councilman Tabor. Second by Councilman Gilbo. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 23-2022, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 21-22 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $122,589.46 in Home Investment Partnerships funds received from the payment of loans funded by the Home Program and appropriating funds within the Community Development and Planning Department.
Need a motion? So moved by Councilman Ntia, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussions? Seeing none, Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for vote.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Announcements of vacancies on board and commission. Ms. Cindy, could you please read?
A vacancy exists on the Industrial Development Board for a 6-year term effective April 1st, 2022. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. Yearly ethics training for all appointees is required as is financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Veronica L. Williams, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017-C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, or email to bclafayette@lafayettela.gov no later than noon Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, with appointments to be made at the May 3rd, 2022 regular meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council. Resume submissions are public record.
Joint Introductory Ordinance. Ms. Cindy, could you please read?
Joint Ordinance 24, 2022, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Chapter 70 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances by enacting Article 4, Mobile Food Establishments regarding the permitting and operation of same, and establishing penalties for violations and amending Chapter 89 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances by amending Article 2, Section 89-21-2, Use Table, and Section 89-21D related to mobile food establishments.
Need a motion? So moved by Councilman Tabar, second by Councilman Carlson. Proposed amendment to include new sections to recognize a credit already paid this year by current permittees. I need a motion and a second on that amendment. So moved by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabar. Any council discussion? Councilman Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mary, do you have a few minutes? Can you come up?
Not on.
Gotcha.
Okay, thanks.
You want to introduce yourself for the record?
Yeah, Mary Slyman, Community Development and Planning Director.
Thank you so much. So I think I've got answers to these, but I want to make sure, because these are questions I've been asked, discussions you and I have had, and just want to make sure we're all on the same page as far as the ordinance. So does this ordinance address the spacing of food trucks? Because somebody had read the ordinance, I guess a couple weeks ago, whenever we had passed it, that there was going to be a restriction of how close food trucks could be to each other, which would prevent them from, say, participating in like a food truck roundup type event.
Yeah, so Paul, I left my, my stuff at my seat. It's 100 feet from, so correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, 100 feet from another a fixed food establishment.
A fixed food establishment. So not, I can be, is there a restriction on how close if Councilman Rubin and I are running both mobile food trucks?
That's what I'm asking Paul to correct. There's a 50 feet from any establishment, I think, with seating, and then there's another 50 feet, but I don't know what, I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Okay.
I believe there's a provision that talks about how many you can have on any one given size property. So let me see if I can find it for you.
That's, I think it's 4, Paul. Let me go grab my folder.
Okay.
Yeah, it's under section 70-94D of the regulations. And it talks about a property owner allowing multiple food establishments to operate on a single lot at the same time. And then there's a chart that establishes for a lot less than a half an acre, you can only have 2 food trucks.
Okay.
So it's not as if you had a lot of less than a half an acre, you couldn't have 5 food trucks all parked together.
Right. But as the scale or as the size of the parking lot expands, then more food trucks are.
Right, and I think the chart goes from less than a half an acre, and then greater than a half an acre, but less than an acre, and then greater than an acre, but less than 1.5 acres, and then greater than 1.5
Okay,
acres.
so to clarify, because the person who had asked me said that food trucks had to be 100 feet away from each other, and I didn't read it that way, but I wanted to make sure, because again, that kind of takes away from the feel of a food truck roundup if I'm separated by 100 feet between food trucks.
100 feet from the main entrance to any fixed food establishment.
Okay,
And then it's 100 feet from outdoor dining. I said 50, it's 100. And then 50 feet from a vending cart, which is not a mobile food establishment.
Okay.
So a vending cart, which
So
is a different type of permit.
in a parking lot that's less than half an acre, Mr. Tabor and I could park 10 feet from each other and have two trucks set up there, and that's fine.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify and make sure. So you mentioned this, chairs and tables. So I understand this is a Department of Health regulation, that if you have chairs and tables, we're not allowing that, because then you also have to have restrooms, and a mobile food establishment isn't going to have.
Correct. And it's a building code
Right.
requirement. So
Okay.
the minute you provide outdoor seating, you must also have
Okay.
that.
Other question, what are we doing can you briefly explain the regulations or requirements of having a commissary or a place to be able to park that food truck at night or whenever they're not operating in a mobile capacity?
So this is something that we are also putting into the ordinance, but it is a Department of Health regulation, first and foremost, and that is that they have to return to commissary at least once a day. And so a commissary, in layman's terms, is a commercial kitchen under which, or at which the food can be prepared. And I say prepared as in prepared before it's cooked, right? And so the idea is we're basically taking the same regulation that the state requires with the Department of Health and putting that into this language as well. So what the state requires in terms of commissary is something that we would, is basically what we are requiring.
Okay.
I mean, they don't have to store the vehicle there, the
Right, they
mobile
just
food
have to return
establishment
at least there once
but they have to
per
go to
day.
commissary at least once per day.
Okay. And a commissary, it has to be a commercial kitchen?
It has to be licensed as a commissary by the Department of Health.
Okay.
And we require them to give us that information as part of the application to verify that they do have a commissary, because we do know it is a requirement of the Department of Health that they have one.
Perfect. And then the last thing, and I know you and I spoke just prior to the meeting, and so this is something I know it's not directly addressed in this ordinance, and so legal, I'd like for you to review the ordinance that does govern our Mardi Gras permitting, and if it needs to be cleaned up or addressed, submit something to the councils. But I don't like the fact that in the past, we've had a fee for mobile food trucks, and then I understand it might not be required, and some have paid it, I think, to operate that food truck during Mardi Gras. I'd like to see this fee cover the operation of that mobile food truck regardless of the time of year it is. And of course, if they are an itinerant vendor, right, they do not have a permit to operate in the city of Lafayette or Parish of Lafayette regularly, and they do so for Mardi Gras, I could see paying a fee there, but I would like to see the overall fees that they are paying as a food truck decreased by going from this, just having this one $300 fee instead of two separate fees if they're doing normal work, and then also at Mardi Gras. I think it makes it simpler and easier to understand what's required, what's not. I also think it reduces the requirements for that business, and we're not overemphasizing the fees for that business. So if we could look into that for a future meeting, I'd certainly like to address those as well.
Sure, and just as a point of reference too, this ordinance does not regulate when they can and cannot operate as far as times of the year. So as far as this permit is concerned, they can operate every day,
And
right?
is there a time of day that they can operate?
There are no hours,
So if I want to have a food truck in the middle of the night, I
as long
can.
as you follow the rules. Same thing with a restaurant, though.
Right.
Restaurants, as long as they're not selling alcohol, or if they sell alcohol, then they have a certain set of regulations.
Right.
If it's a restaurant that doesn't serve alcohol, they could be open 24 hours.
Thank you so much for working with, I know, multiple council members and getting this and clarifying this. And I think it makes it easier for businesses because they know what's expected and what's not. It's great for the community because we're following a uniform set of guidelines and not everybody kind of doing their own thing. So thank you so much for
Hey,
this.
one more question, miss. One of the questions that was asked to me was the tables. can they set up a table outside of their mobile unit? I just wanted to be on the record, because
Not for
I
outdoor
get asked that
dining.
question.
Not for outdoor dining.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, you know, who's that? Who's that? Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Hey,
Mayor
thank
President.
you, Mr. Chair. And Councilman Carlson, you know, you had this ordinance 3 weeks ago. My recommendation, just for efficiency purposes and for the most productive dialogue that we can, if you could, send questions in advance as requested by the administration so that our directors can be the most prepared that they can be. Now, she did a great job on that line of question, and I think you had some good questions, too. So we need to continue this dialogue. We're just fortunate that we had our very learned director here, because she ordinarily may not have been here on an item that's up for introduction. So just in the future, if you could, it'll make it a lot more streamlined, and we appreciate those courtesies. Thank y'all.
Councilman Coles.
I certainly appreciate that, Mayor President, and I, will certainly do everything that I can to work with the administration on that. I'd done that 2 weeks ago whenever we voted on this originally, and I'd gotten incorrect information. So I felt it necessary to ask those questions and before we made a vote, and make sure that every council member up here has accurate information before we vote, so we don't have a repeat of 2 weeks ago. That's why I wanted to ask those questions.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
All right, call for vote
District
to amend.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
The motion to amend to include new sections to recognize a credit already paid this year by current permittees is approved.
You're not getting your vote in. All right.
Yeah, it's the electronic, so we'll get it done.
Okay, now, council discussion on ordinance as amended. Any council discussion on ordinance as amended? I think we discussed that enough, so we good. Ms. Williams, any comment from the public on the ordinance as amended?
No, sir.
Call for vote.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt as amended is approved.
Comments from the public. Comments from the public on any other matter not on the agenda. This is the time to speak about topics that are not included as agenda items. Topics should be related to the parish of Lafayette and are within the legislative power of the parish council. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed for efficiency and to allow everyone the opportunity to speak. Questions should be submitted in writing to the clerk of the council, and the 3-minute rule will be in effect. Ms. Williams, do we have any want to speak today?
Yes, we do. We have 2 speakers, Mr. Chair. The first of which is Madison Price, and he will be followed by Stephanie Touchette.
Ms. Touche, you may step to the other microphone if she wants. Oh, okay. My bad. Okay.
Want to get to step up here or that one?
You good?
Hello, my name is Madison Price, and I'm just a concerned citizen of Lafayette. I'd first like to thank the Lafayette Consolidated Government for the opportunity to speak. That being said, I've come to the Lafayette Parish Council today because I'd like to address the Parish Council and the Mayor President directly in regards to some concerns that I and other residents here in the parish have had regarding the current course of this government. Recently, Lafayette, Louisiana has made national headlines over the severe mishandling of its library system by the currently appointed library board. From headlines railing against the efforts of censorship to the arrest of a local activist and the politically motivated removal of a library committee member, this board of control has continually demonstrated time and again that they are more interested in control than actually running a library. Lafayette Library has thus become a stage for political spectacle rather than the space for community learning that it ought to be. Now, initially, this grievance may seem out of place at a parish council meeting, but its relevance lies in the fact that this board was directly picked by the parish council and the mayor-president's office, and is thus the very reflection of the tone of this government set forth by the administration. Appointments made by the Lafayette Parish Council that have been publicly condemned as politically motivated. And while some council members have gone on record stating that their appointments were never political, those very council members themselves were the ones who appointed those suspected of being politically motivated. Such examples, such as Robert Judge, for instance, the current president of the library board, whose only relevant qualifications for board membership are 2 years as a high school chemistry teacher, do not instill confidence. Moreover, since Judge's date of appointment, this community has expressed time and again their concerns over the qualifications and motivations of library board members as well as that of the parish council itself. Yet in response to these concerns, the Lafayette community has instead been chastised and been told that the requirements for library board membership aren't that high to begin with. Thus, this seems to clearly demonstrate that the current requirements for library board members are far too lenient and perfectly open for special interests and political factionalism to take precedence in the appointment process. As such, I call upon the parish council to begin the process of rewriting the current requirements for the library board membership, as well as to recall the current Lafayette Library Board in order to begin the reconsideration of current members and new candidates. All this doesn't even mention the many other grievances I have, such as the mismanagement of Lafayette PD and the fact that our city has gone through 5 police chiefs within the past 2 years, nor does it mention the rapid pace of government that has landed us in legal hot water. And ultimately, I beg the parish council and mayor president to hold each other accountable before the Lafayette people do at the next ballot box. Thank you.
The final speaker,
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Chair, is Stephanie Touchette.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Skinner Touchette, and I'm a concerned Acadianian. And I'm here tonight, I want to talk about what went on last week. There in Abu Dhabi, there was a big world summit, and they're talking about a digital currency. So I want you to tell all your constituents and everyone to prepare for possible famine, because the warmongers and NATO and the United States are they're not slowing down this war in Ukraine, okay? And so there's going to be famine worldwide. 1 million to 2 billion extra people are going to die on top of what already dies. There's going to be food riots and food rationing and all these things, and it's collapse. And so what's going on, we need to prepare here locally. I know we have 4-H and we have agriculture, and we have wonderful, beautiful farmers, but we need to start storing food and tell all your constituents to start buying now because of inflation and future scarcity. Okay, and then the next thing they talked about, I want you to tell your constituents to buy gold and silver. There's lots of gold and silver stores in this town, and it's very important because when the collapse does come, the dollar's losing value and things of that nature. So what we want to do is we want gold, and because they're going to come in with the digital currency. They bragged about it at this summit, and it's going to track everything we do, and they're going to monitor our health with that digital currency. Our children will no longer have a piggy bank. They're going to know what you give to the church. They're going to know everything you do. They're going to know everything medical. If they don't like you for some reason, like they do in China, it's a social credit score. Won't let you buy gas. They won't let you buy ammo. They won't let you buy a gun. They won't let you buy food. It's like the mark of the beast system that they're bringing in. So I want this community to be prepared and ready for that in case that one day we wake up and the dollars collapse and they're going to say, oh, well, get on this digital currency. We don't want Acadianians on that digital currency because we're going to be monitored and tracked, and they brag about it at this summit. So we all need to get ready and go hand in hand, arm in arm, and get ready for this. It's going to monitor your online activity, our carbon footprint, where we drive, how we drive. It's going to track our vaccine status. Whatever happened to HIPAA law, that's nobody's business what we do. medically. Our religious beliefs, it's going to limit purchases, it's going to regulate food supply, monitor our gas, and it's going to be a personal digital identity. And so that number, you know, we don't want to be scanned. We don't want our children to be scanned. We don't want a digital currency like that that's run by a government. So I want our community to be ready for that. And so that's it. Thank you.
No
Thank
other
you very
speakers,
much.
Mr. Chair.
Seeing no other speaker, we're going to adjourn the regular parish meeting.
I put it on.
Yes, sir.
Just kidding. And now I'm on. Hello, let's do this again. I'd like to call to order this meeting. As a point of clarification, the special meeting is being held to hear the executive session, which properly includes the docket numbers. It is the same executive session as noted on the regular council meeting, but that one will be deferred indefinitely, as it did not include the docket information. Any chair announcements? The only one I have is tonight at this meeting, Pat Lewis, District 1, is unable to attend tonight's meeting, so he will be absent. Let's see, I don't see any other council announcements? Not seeing any. All right, we're going to go into executive session. Cindy, please read.
Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government versus St. Martin Parish Government and United States Army Corps of Engineers, 15th Judicial District Court, Parish of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, docket number C 2022-1498B. Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government versus Bendale Partnership, a partnership in commendam, Circle A Farm Incorporated, Stacy Albert Farm Incorporated, and Southern Acres LLC. 15th Judicial District Court, Parish of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, docket number C 2021-6273B. Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government versus Lucille B. Randall Ayers, LLC, 15th Judicial District Court, Parish of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, docket number C 2021-2515E.
I'd like to ask legal to explain why the executive sessions are needed.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair. These matters involve pending litigations in which LCG is a party, and because of the nature of the claims and defenses asserted in those litigations, it's my opinion that discussion of these litigations in open session will have a detrimental effect on the litigations or bargaining position of LCG in those litigations. For that reason, it's my opinion that an executive session is permissible and appropriate for discussion of these litigations, and I recommend that council go into executive session for that purpose.
Thank you, Mr. Escott. I have a motion from Mr. Ntia, a second from Mr. Lazard. Any council discussion on this? Not seeing any. Public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's call for a vote to enter into executive session.
District 1,
Absent.
District 2,
Yay.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
The motion to enter into executive session is approved.
All right, thank you.
about my granddaughter, miss. No, but she's going to help shape the way this country goes. Maybe you should be looking at the local judges instead. I need to, huh? Tell me more. Will they tear? I don't know. I'm about to make an appointment. A lot of those Soros-funded judges, they're terrible. They incite violence. They burn down cities. He funds a lot of them. He brags about it.
we ready? All right, I need a motion and a second to return from executive session. I have a motion for Mr. Lazard, a second for Mr. Ntia. Any council discussion about the executive session? I'm not seeing any. Ms. Williams, do we have any public comments?
We do have one speaker signed in, Stephanie Skinner-Touchette.
Hi, great council. I'm Stephanie Skinner-Touchette, and I'm a concerned Acadianian. And all I want to say, I don't know anything about the detention pond litigation, but what I do want to talk about is water, how it's a valuable resource, and I'm very, very happy that we have those in Acadiana. And I feel the more places that we have water in Acadiana is very, very good. If there was a collapse or an EMP strike or something terrible, water would be a very, very valuable resource. There's some states right now in the United States, it's very hard to believe, that they won't, it's against the law for you to collect your own rainwater. There are states currently right now in the United States that are fighting over water, and there's a mega drought possibly in the future. And so I like the detention ponds, and the more water we have, the better. And it might come to a point in this country and all over the world where people might actually have to sell water. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Thank you.
All right,
No other speaker, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I'd like to adjourn the City Council special meeting. And
Madam Chair, I don't think you called the vote to return from executive session. You had called for
I did,
public
yeah.
comment.
Yeah, I already did that. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
So sorry. All right, so I need, let's call for the vote to return from executive session then.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5. Yes. The motion to return from executive session is approved.
Okay, now, may I adjourn the meeting?
Yes,
I'd like to
ma'am.
adjourn the meeting, special meeting. I'd like to call to order the regular Lafayette City Council meeting, and I'm going to ask Mr. Nottingham to do the invocation and Mr. Lazard to do the pledge.
Father and Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather together. We ask you to bring us our strength and our grace to our hearts and our minds so it may do the will of the people and do what is good for everyone in the city and the parish. We ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. We welcome you to the Lafayette City Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the speaker form to submit your information to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica L. Williams, seated to my left. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 3-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for the media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all your phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards and commissions. If you are interested, call 291-8800. Chair announcements. At tonight's meeting, absent will be Mr. Pat Lewis, District 1, who is unable to attend. Items 5A, B, and C will be deferred indefinitely as they were handled via a special meeting, which cited the proper court document language. I can't read tonight. Intro item number 22, CO04002022, rezoning 804 and 806 North St. Antoine Street. Councilmember Lewis has requested that this item be pulled from in globo for a separate vote and discussion. Item number 31, JO024-2022, Food Mobile Establishment. Community Development and Planning is requesting an amendment to include new sections to recognize a credit already paid this year by the current permittees. I have no announcements of my own. I'm not seeing any announcements from the council. Am I? No? Okay. Let's see, let's move on to the Executive Mayor President's report. Your mic is hot.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who took the time to be with us today. We appreciate your participation. Thank you to the council staff for your courtesies, as always. Thank you. And, of course, to the council. And special thanks to our chair for making time during the week. Came in and had some questions on a particular matter on the agenda tonight. And the DDA representative, who else said, me, you, the Public Works Director, had a whole bunch of people in there. So I do thank you for taking the time to be with us and ask your questions. It always helps us out to be as most prepared as we can for these meetings for those we're blessed to serve. We have budget to actual comparison of major city funds, February 2022 preliminary. If you have any questions, Director Toops is behind me.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any questions from the council members. So let's move on to resolutions. This is a public hearing, and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
City Resolution 12, 2022, a resolution of the Lafayette City Council authorizing the filing of an application for grant funding made available by the Kubota Corporation as part of the Kubota Hometown Proud Grant Program.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second. I have a motion from Mr. Nakhan, a second from Ms. Hebert. I'm not seeing any council discussion. Ms. Williams, do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Let's call for the vote.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
All right, moving on to joint resolutions. This is a public hearing, and speaker sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Joint Resolution 11, 2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council certifying compliance with public bid law relative to state project number H03562.
I have a motion from Mr. Lazard, a second from Mr. Nakhan. Any council discussion? I'm not seeing any. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Let's call for the vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 12, 2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council awarding project relative to state project number H03562.
I have a motion from Ms. Hebert, a second from Mr. Lazard. I'm not seeing any council discussion. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
No. All right, let's call for the vote.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1? District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 13, 2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Joint Resolution 27, 2021, authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 217 Ben B Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
I have a motion for Mr. Nakhan, a second for Mr. Lazard. I'm not seeing any council discussion. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Let's call for the vote.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 14, 2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 404 Morgan Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
I have a motion for Mr. Lazard, a second for Mr. Nakhan. I'm not seeing any council discussion. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Let's call for the vote.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 15, 2022, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 134 Lena Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
I have a motion from Ms. Hebert, a second from Mr. Nakhan. Again, not seeing any council discussion. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Let's vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
All right, moving on to reports and our discussion items. Cindy, please read.
LUS Fiber update on expanding broadband to surrounding communities.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call Mr. Ryan Mesh up, if you would, please. How are you tonight? Good?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for being here. I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Lazard. Are there any comments that you wanted to make first?
No comments. Just thank you for the opportunity to come talk about LUS Fiber.
Perfect. All right, Mr. Lazard.
Good evening, Ryan. Welcome.
Good evening.
Put this on the agenda, obviously, and I sent some information to Sidra as well, and I'm sure she relayed that to you.
Yes, sir.
So if you could just kind of start out by giving us somewhat of a briefing, if you will, on where we are with all the expansion that's going on. I know that we are part of a process to expand fiber to some of the surrounding communities. I know we got the gumbo grants and the money from the infrastructure bill and so forth and so on. So for starters, might help if you would just give us a summary, and then I may proceed with specific questions after you do your presentation.
Okay.
Put your mic down a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to block my.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so the most recently awarded grant would be the Ntia grant. LUS Fiber worked with APC, actually wrote the grant. I believe Monique's actually here. And it was in coordination with LUS Fiber and Allen's to provide broadband to underserved regions. So what we're seeing is these federal grants that are the first round, at least, is to help with rural underserved. So we worked with Monique and her team to identify where we could expand our facilities, serve certain census blocks according to a map that could provide broadband that was affordable, reliable, and above the 25 by 3 threshold. It was a very competitive grant. There was about $288 million that was available. There was over $2.7 billion in requests for it. We were one of the, I believe it was one of 14 to actually get awarded, which is why Vice President Harris came down, because we were able to assist in servicing Ville Platte, which has the 5th slowest internet speeds in the nation. So we're going to have $21 million come from that opportunity to move that forward. Additionally, we applied for GUMBO, which is the state broadband fund. Very similar. They have very specific requirements. There's a map. You kind of show where you can do those facilities. Once again, focusing on rural, underserved areas. We were able to work with the parishes in the Acadiana region. So we had to develop a relationship with Acadia, Evangeline, Vermilion, St. Landry. So it was a unique opportunity that we had, and they actually jointly contributed, or if awarded, they're going to put up to $7 million to help with that expansion. So that's the two that are kind of on the board right now.
Can you tell me which of any of those will require any advanced funding directly from LUS?
So define advanced funding, like the full funding of it?
Yeah, will the grants cover the full cost?
Yes.
So
they will cover the full cost, the full $21 million capital expansion. So that's networking equipment, that's fiber, that's installation of the fiber facilities, splicing, everything needed to go and make those.
So no advance, because, and what I'm referencing is, I guess, going back to the discussion we had last year about the expanding fiber down Highway 90 to Iberia.
Yes, sir.
Which we would have had some upfront costs, right?
Correct.
On that, so.
So we didn't have, so each grant has opportunities to either say, like for the EDA grants, which you're referring to, that was a $3.1 million grant, where we had to actually give $700,000. For this opportunity, we don't actually have to go and front that money, so there's no cash upfront cost.
Okay, and whatever happened with that? That didn't go through for some reason, right?
No, it's currently going through. That's part of federal procurement, so we have to go and work with our EDA agent, with APC as well. They tell us, include this in your bid, include this in the material. They have to sign off on it. We have to work with all the railroads, We're at a point where we feel in the next 2 to 3 months, we should be beginning construction for that project.
So that's still in the works?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about long-term capital or O&M for all the different expansions that we're talking about doing? Do we bear any burden?
We really don't. This is why it was such an opportune grant to go after. So we'll be the only O&M expenses, as we turn up customers. So that would go with anywhere we go, whether we're in Lafayette, a parish, outside the city. So we'll be getting revenue from them to cover those additional expenses, whether that's video programming costs, circuit costs. So we'll be increasing revenue at a very quick pace.
Do we have an anticipated customer base, if you will? For example, Evangeline Parish or Ville Platte, have we crunched the numbers?
Yes, yes, sir. So, it's, as we get more rural, it's the advantage to us is that it's less competitive. Lafayette's market is extremely competitive due to LUS Fiber being such an early innovator. But these outside regions, they just don't have that accessibility. They don't have that quality fiber infrastructure. So what we've seen is, Church Point, their 911 and their phone lines go down once a month. Ville Platte can't run their credit card machines. So we're coming to an extremely underserved area, and we're going to be able to provide them access.
So it's underserved, but it's also a very high poverty area.
It is.
As well. So the grants will cover the cost of all the installation, is what you're saying, right?
The installation of the main lines that are going to go in front of the homes, yes. Additionally, Ntia Grant, we were able to work with Evangeline Parish, and they're actually giving us, what we're going to have as like a retail center to be able to take payment, have a warehouse. So that's one less cost that we're going to have as part of our expansion efforts.
But those are costs that we're going to have to,
No, sir.
we don't have to cover those costs?
No, sir.
All that's covered by the grant?
Yes, sir.
Personnel costs and?
Not personnel costs. So we don't anticipate high personnel costs. We do plan on bringing in, more customer service reps, maybe a couple more fiber techs. That increase in revenue will be able to quickly build out the Lafayette areas. So in 2008, what was there that had an electric meter on, we had a fiber for. So since then, there's been new neighborhoods, new developments, very competitive. So increasing our revenue from this additional source is only going to expedite our ability to expand our fiber facilities.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay, so no worries whatsoever about the impact. There will be no impact on our reserves in terms of being able to satisfy our long-term debt obligations.
So those reserves, that's a different pot of money. We can't even touch on that. So there's a flow of funds that we have to pay our, operating costs. We got to pay our debt services. So that's completely separate from that. So no, there is no, sir.
No impact, yeah.
No, sir. We're not.
No impact there at all?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, I don't know. Does Monique want to come up and say a few words? We appreciate the input from that organization as well.
Thank you. Monique Boulay with the Acadiana Planning Commission. Really just came in case you have questions, but you did mention the poverty level. And they do have high poverty. In all of the federal funding coming out, the providers that are awarded and in this grant as well have to agree to engage in a program, which I cannot think of the name of.
EBB.
EBB, where there is actually a $50 subsidy for low-income users of broadband. So it on two fronts. One, it allows us to get broadband to people in difficult financial situations. And two, I do believe it allows us to begin to address poverty issues in those communities. You cannot really address education or health care or even the workforce without good internet. And so I want to thank you all, because I think this is going to be much more powerful than just bringing broadband to other communities. I really think it allows this region to look at some of our real issues in a new way. So, and if you have any questions on the grant in particular.
Well, I mean, we're certainly all excited about it, about providing that service to those areas that are certainly in dire need of it. You know, like I said, I just want to make sure that it doesn't impact or affect our ability, and I'm going to assume the role of my colleague here, you know, in his absence.
Pat,
You know.
What would Pat say?
What Pat would ask, where are we in terms of providing access to fiber to those areas of the city of Lafayette that still don't have access to it?
Okay, so what we recommend going to is lusfiber.com/getfiber. What that does, that's a way for us to take in the request, see where the needs are at, so we can be able to reach out, see what it costs to expand, do that sort of thing, which is what this grant's going to help us do. Increasing our revenue is only going to help us to have more dollars in that bucket for those capital expansions. Some of the things that we are doing, I'm sure you've heard about the Lincoln Learn project with the school system, where LUS Fiber is going to be the solution provider to serve 1,100 underserved students in the 70501 area. So we think that that is going to be transformative for and level the playing field for a lot of students that just don't have that accessibility. So we're working on a lot of fronts on what's going on, and in using these grants while they're available in unprecedented times of telecommunication dollars coming on. We felt obliged that it was in the best interest from a business perspective to take advantage of that, connect our community. Connecting areas in Acadia Parish is going to help our workforce. So you're going to be able to have our gigabit peer-to-peer that can work from home. Lafayette companies can now hire the surrounding region. People didn't have connectivity. You know, rising gas prices, working from home is an issue. So it does help the unserved and the low income.
So as the process evolves, could you give us updates?
100%.
As the process evolves, however we choose to do that?
Yeah, so.
What's the timeline right now we're looking at?
So.
I mean, you don't have to pinpoint it to the day or the minute.
The grant has a 12-month timeframe. However, NTIA hasn't had our initial meeting, and we have significant supply chain issues, which we are trying to address that as well. So I'm saying 24 months. I mean, we're dealing with federal money, so we usually double anyway. But this one is, you know, it's supply chain. They also have to go through the federal procurement process, the permitting process, the railroad issues. So, I mean, right now we're on a 12-month period, but they've asked us actually to recommend or to put forth an extension proposal. So we are going to extend that to try to accommodate.
Well, if I'm still alive, give us an update on it. Yeah, maybe when the green light gets going, maybe you can come back and give us an update.
The New Iberia grant has taken us a solid year and a month, I guess, and that one hopefully breaks ground soon. And so that's probably a fair gauge. The other thing I would say is for you to understand what's happening from a federal perspective, the federal government is asking the states to put a plan together to cover 100% of the homes in their state, not 99%. They're also putting very high standards on it being fiber. The unserved, and the definition of all these things are very technical and political, will be served first, then the underserved, and then, you know, we'll see how the definitions shift in Washington. But it is our intent as an agency to reach out and into as many different funding pots that we can to cover our region, probably one of the first in the country to be this aggressive. And that grant, it wasn't just Ville Platte, starts in Basile, Eunice, Church Point, Chautauqua, Cankton, Mamou, Ville Platte, Pine Prairie, Sunset, Grand Coteau, all the way to the edge of Arnaville. It's tremendous. It's a game changer. It's a game changer for our region. You know, it really is. And we really want to see the whole region. Mississippi has a big initiative, and this kind of is hard for me to say, to get fiber to the home, and they're very aggressive.
Are we beating them?
No.
Not yet, okay.
That's the hard part, you know, but Acadiana will. Acadiana will, we will cover our region. I'm involved a little bit at the state, but we will cover Acadiana, and then work with the rest of the state. But Louisiana is on the forefront of most of the states. Many states, it is complex, it's hard, and you really have to have a high focus to get involved in it, and many states haven't really engaged. So our state broadband office is on the forefront as well.
Well, good. Well, I want to thank y'all very much. Y'all apparently been working very hard and doing a great job and being aggressive. And, like you said, grants, going after them, that's amazing. So thank you very much for doing that. And keep us posted. We'll be cheering y'all on. And hopefully, within the year or so, we can maybe get an update in terms of where we are with the movement. So,
Yes, ma'am.
all right.
Thank you.
Does anyone else, any council members have any questions? We're good? All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, let's move on to ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker forms are available for anyone wishing to address the council.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
public comment.
Oh, gosh, well, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear from the public tonight, apparently. I apologize. Are there any?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The first speaker is Stephanie Skinner Touchette, and she will be followed by Lavora Greenhouse with AT&T. Only if you have questions, or you're welcome to come up if you.
Hi, Stephanie Skinner Touchette. I'm a concerned Acadianian. I want to go back into the old days, when we just had regular telephone service. And I remember when I had the dial-up modem, and it goes, and so, but when you expand this technology, it's very dangerous. I know that there's scientists out there that say these things emit frequencies. And so with all this technology comes some negative things. So I want y'all to really study the science behind it, and to look at both sides of pro-tech and anti-tech and the health damages that these frequencies cause from expanding this. And I mean, and also this technology can be used to enslave us. She said that it can monitor. We can look at certain areas in the impoverished areas. Well, the feds can look at that. She said the feds that are demanding certain things, they're demanding this fiber. That can be to enslave people if a sinister force got a hold of it. If I don't want fiber, I don't want to be able to be forced to have that fiber and to be tracked and traced by it. So there's health problems that come with it, the technology and the frequencies and the radiation and all that. And there's also the surveillance aspect of it. And then also what he said, what Mr. Ryan said, was that it helps people who can't afford gas to stay home and work. Who wants to stay home and work? I know you like going to the office and meeting with people. That's the globalist plan, to put us in our house. Klaus Schwab brags about it. He says you'll have nothing and like it. And they want us locked in our houses. If some people want to work from home, fine. And then also with the computer and children learning on the computers. And who wants to tell their child, oh, you're going to grow up and you're going to be able to go to school on the computer? I feel like kids need interaction, and I would rather not. I just want to slow down on the technology. I want to be healthy with the technology, and I don't want to be enslaved by the technology. I don't want my health or anybody else's health to be hurt by this technology, and I definitely don't want to be enslaved by the technology. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I incorrectly said Lavora, but he's funding the item, so no other speakers.
No other speakers, all right. Okay, I guess I should ask, I can move on, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker forms are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
City Ordinance 36-2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council declaring the Nottingham Drainage Improvements Project a public necessity and authorizing the acquisition of the necessary rights-of-way, immovable property, and other property rights requisite to the construction of said project, either on an amicable basis or through the use of the expropriation process, if necessary.
I have a motion from Mr. Ntia, a second from Ms. Hebert. I'm not seeing any council discussion at the moment. Do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I missed one. Mr. Lazard, you have the floor.
Just for point of clarification on this one, I guess this is going to involve both the administration and legal. We've obviously been having some ongoing discussions on this issue, right? Particularly as it pertains to the, what we call the quick take process, right? And I made some comments at the last meeting. There was one that we voted on from Councilwoman Hebert's district, I think, that we voted on at the last meeting. And we had an extensive discussion about whether or not the people, what kind of outreach was made to those people that were going to be impacted by that particular project. And I'm just kind of curious, and is Chad here? Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Chad, could you tell us about number 13? I guess is the rain tree?
Yeah, so,
area.
the Nottingham Drainage Improvement Project, it's actually a project that we just recently bid, and we have all the signatures on the right-of-way documents. As it turns out that there's some replacement of some trees and things that were negotiated for the donation of the right-of-way, and this public necessity ordinance is just going to allow us to facilitate this relatively small transaction to keep the project going, because again, we've procured a contractor and we're ready to go with it.
And we do not anticipate having to, do we anticipate having to expropriate?
No, sir, we have all the
private
signatures. We have all the signatures.
And
for the
also,
servitudes.
real quick, you may recall, this is a project that Councilman Lewis has been referencing for a while.
I know.
He's done a really good job. We've had a lot, you asked about outreach. Very blessed that we're able to, communicate with the public, especially in regards to this project. So I know a lot of work, Public Works and Councilman Lewis have gone a long way in this regard. So I'm just very thankful for that.
Well, certainly, that's always a good thing when we can do it that route, of course. So we do not anticipate having to, quote unquote, expropriate any property for this project.
No, sir.
Okay. I'll defer to Councilwoman Hebert for now.
I was just going to say, I spoke to Councilman Lewis because he wasn't able to attend tonight's meeting, and he asked me to relay to you all to please support this. He's been working with Public Works and the neighbors. Everyone is in support of it. One woman is supportive of it, and as you mentioned, you're working on some reimbursement for bushes that you're going to have to take in order to do this property, but everyone is 100% supportive of it. He's been working with them for a long time. So in lieu of him attending here, I'm asking on his behalf for y'all to support this for him. Thank y'all.
Of course, he spoke to me as well.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I just want to verify.
And so the reason, Chad, that if I'm understanding this correctly, that it's a public necessity is because we have to actually, we're taking some bushes, so we have to pay for those bushes.
Correct.
Is that where, so that's why it came across as this type of an ordinance. Is that correct?
That is what my understanding, yes.
Okay. Okay. I don't see any other council discussion. Ms. Aber, are there any? Thank you, Chad.
You might want to
Are we waiting on public comments?
hang on for the next one.
Oh, do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's go ahead and call for the vote on this one.
District 5?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3? Yes. District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 37, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council declaring the Downtown Drainage Improvements Project a public necessity and authorizing the acquisition of the necessary rights-of-way and movable property and other property rights requisite to the construction of the underground storage basin phase of said project, either on an amicable basis or through the use of the expropriation process if necessary.
I have a motion for Mr. Lazard, a second for Ms. Aber, and I believe we have council discussion. Mr. Lazard, you have the floor.
Paul, can you, for public benefit, because, we've been getting a lot of back and forth about why we have to use this particular process and the means or the method behind it, if you will. And so whenever, it's gotten to the point now where whenever people see expropriation or what we call quick take, it kind of creates somewhat of a furor, if you will. So can you just explain, for the public benefit, exactly why we have to utilize this process or the language or the wording of the ordinance as it pertains to that?
Well, I think in general, it relates to individuals, the greater good benefit concept, where if you notice the ordinance itself, only expropriation is referred to as the last option, and that the public necessity is a different concept independent of that. In other words, public necessity is that for the benefit of the entire general population, it's established that that particular project benefits all, and but for the, the perhaps hesitation by one, the public necessity allows for an amicable acquisition of that property and a fair price, but push comes to shove, expropriation is the final available remedy. And such is recognized by, our state laws.
So this particular wording, does it mirror the state statute on expropriations and?
That I'm not sure. I didn't draft this particular ordinance, and I haven't looked at the state statutes and compared it, but I doubt that it will mirror the expropriation statutes. The technical expropriation statutes, I should say, it may mirror some of the preamble statutes that lead up to expropriation on public necessity and whatnot.
Greg, if you want to weigh in on it, yeah. If he wants to, I mean, if he can add some clarity to it, and if he wants to.
I'm not sure if I have legal for him.
Yeah.
No comment? Yeah, I don't know, what are you called? What do we call you? I got CAO, I got CFO?
Peanut section.
Back row.
Back row? V, do you have a mic for him back there? Okay, it's on?
She's
okay. Got legal here. You're on.
Okay, it's on now? Okay, thank you.
You're in.
As far as this ordinance tracking or word for word the state statute, I do not think so, but it has the requirements in it for the state statute, and it's not just the state that has expropriation. We have it in the federal system also, referred to as eminent domain. So we always try to work towards amicably acquiring property, but if we didn't have eminent domain or expropriation, there'd be places in Lafayette with no lights, no gas, heat, no roads, even our own city. So it's a public necessity to move forward. Basically, generally, I'm not talking about this specific ordinance, but it's the needs of the many exceed the needs of the few, unfortunately, and this is for public purpose.
Okay, go ahead and let Sidra go, then I'll come back.
Okay. No, that was his mic. You were the CFO for a moment, so.
Oh, I thought Sidra was buzzing in.
No, I do have a kind of a clarification of what we talked about earlier. We had a nice, you helped me understand the previous ordinance and this one in terms of what the projects were, and I think that's usually the hesitation that we have sometimes when we see an ordinance like this, and we haven't gotten the details on the project. And then my concern is then I go to, okay, or is it being, how is it being funded? I mean, is it going to be funded, and are we going to even know how much it costs, that kind of thing. So from what I understand, we're just going to get an appraisal with this ordinance.
Internally, that's our next process. So, and I appreciate you making time for us and everybody and all the other council members. So this necessity ordinance in regards to how we would proceed is we would go get appraisal and we would continue to study the benefits. I know we keep referencing project, and I see the word project in the ordinance. It's, in my opinion, it's not really a project until it's funded, until it's designed, until it's something tangible that you can clearly identify. Now, this is in Councilman Lazar's district, as you know, and it's in downtown, and we all know the drainage situation in downtown is very unfortunate. But we've taken a lot of proactive measures. Subterranean, we've cleaned out the entire downtown below surface, which is a big accomplishment. But we need to be able to detain water. We need to be able to hold water, interrupt the flow, be able to do all the techniques that engineers go to many, many years of school for. So this area is right by City Court. It's right by Jefferson Street, and my understanding is from our engineer's standpoint that it shows promise, so we want to continue to study it. It's also my understanding that this might have an opportunity to serve as detention underneath the ground, and once we have an engineering and it's designed, or at least at a point where it at least can be designed, we would come back to the council to appropriate funds for that design project. So it's a clearly identified project. I don't think that's going to take necessarily long, quite frankly, to get to. I think within a couple months we'll be able to come back if you desire that. We'd have to get appropriation.
Well, that was going to be my next request, that maybe once you do your first step on this, based on this ordinance, if you would, if I could get Veronica to maybe put this back on the agenda again in a month?
I think so. In worst case, if we don't have the appraisal back and we're not in a step of engineer, we can defer.
Okay.
I would identify it as some project name, just say off of, is it off of Lee? Where's Chad at? It's off of Jefferson. So it is off of directly. Okay, we say near Jefferson. How's that? Near Jefferson downtown.
We can call it that, yeah.
Everybody work? Does that work for everybody?
Yes, it works. Does it work with everybody? If we come back in about a month with the details as of maybe.
At least an update.
Yeah, an update.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Madam Chair, I would request, with your permission, that the clerk go ahead and put it on 2 council meetings from now, just an update. If we don't have the information, I'll communicate with you and the rest of the council to defer it maybe a 2-week period.
Perfect. So, V, are you comfortable with that? Will you do that? Okay.
Yes, are we deferring this though for a month, or are we just getting an update in a month?
Yeah, we're going to get an update.
Okay,
We're going
got
to
it
vote
down
on it
then.
tonight, but yeah,
Thank you.
just an update.
And that's May 17th.
All right, Mr. Lazard, you have the floor?
Jan, May 17th. Yeah.
It's a month. Okay. I mean, look, if we need to go 6 weeks, we can go that, yeah.
No, time's not a problem. So, just point of clarification. And so, by approving this ordinance tonight, all we're doing is giving the administration the authority, if you will, to proceed with getting appraisals and engineering studies and what have you?
Still looking at that, yeah.
Is that what, would that be a proper way to word it?
I would say from a reality standpoint, what's going to happen pragmatically, yes, you're correct. But being a lawyer myself, I'm hanging on every word. So I would defer to legal because I have not researched this. But yes, I just explained what we're going to do. So we're going to go forward, get the appraisal, continue with engineering based on this area that seems to offer a lot of promise. So that would be good.
So from a practical standpoint, how does this tie in with the funds that we allocated last year for the downtown-wide drainage project? Is this connected to that in any way, or do we end?
So from an engineering standpoint, which I am not an engineer, it does tie into the overall master plan.
Oh.
From a funding standpoint, we would treat this as a separate project. I think that would be most appropriate under these circumstances.
So this would not be included in whatever?
That is correct, unless we get feedback from the engineer. I think would be, because I'm purely technically answering your question, because those funds that you're referencing were pulled from Fund 101, our general fund.
No, from the ARPA budget, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're right. I was
That
thinking
funding, yeah.
emergency funds. We've done a lot of work over there, so that's good. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so, and on that point, have we gotten complete engineering studies yet in terms of how we're going to proceed with what was allocated back then? In terms of what
You're
the
referring
actual
to
project is going to encompass?
Are you referring to the ARPA funds that you
Yeah.
just referenced?
The downtown.
We plan on giving, I think it would be most fair to the public and to the councils if we wait, I think we're on schedule now. Yeah, what, 4 weeks? We just talked about it.
Before we have a final plan?
No, to give a full briefing. Because we've given periodic briefings, but
Right.
to identify just one area would be a disservice, unless y'all want to stay. I can stay here all night, we do this all the time.
Can we put that on an agenda?
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
what I'm really looking for is really a comprehensive
Yes.
drainage plan for downtown, is what I'm looking for. And I still haven't seen that, or no indication of one being forthcoming for that matter. So here we are talking, and look, I'm not opposed to doing whatever we need to do if I'm convinced that it's going to fix the problem, right? And that's where the engineering and studies and recommendations come in at, right? Telling us that it's going to actually solve the problem, right? And I'm just wondering, when do we anticipate getting to that point where we're going to have something tangible before us that we can actually put our eyes on?
Is that what you're talking about?
So,
You see where I'm coming
again, well, I do, and you're welcome to come to my office anytime, and I'll coordinate with directors. We absolutely follow science. And
I'm not, Josh, I'm not saying we don't. I'm not accusing anybody of that, okay? I'm not saying
taking it
that.
that way.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that to this point, I don't think we've seen that. That's what I'm saying. And here we're talking about possibly allocating some additional money for what I'd call another side project, and I'm just,
Sure.
don't worry about the characterization, okay? It's not important. What's important is that we know that we're going to solve the problem, bottom line. And I think that's what we all want at the end of the day.
Every time you say solve, I know every engineer listening is saying, wait a minute, use mitigate.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. And we want the same thing, and we've been striving very hard. If you recall, 2 years ago, we did not have a comprehensive plan. 2 years ago, we did not have a working, dynamic, living, breathing model with science and all these projects tied in together. We now have that, and we're very excited about that. Downtown is a small footprint that happens to have needs a lot of attention, but a small footprint in the overall test for million watershed as it relates to Lafayette Parish. And what we had planned on doing, I thought it was I thought we were scheduled to brief, but if not, we'll work with the councils and put it on the agenda to do an overall briefing, just to give an update on these funds. We can do that at any time. We appreciate the councils, both of city and the parish, because without your time, without you appropriating the funds in the past, we wouldn't have been able to do that on the administration side. So we do appreciate that, but we have no problem with doing that. Again, always welcome to come to the office. We can schedule something. I know Councilwoman Cook came in the other day and was very helpful, and your feedback's very helpful too.
So can I ask, maybe in like the month from now or the 6 weeks when we come back with this project, this particular ordinance, could we also at that same time have a downtown drainage kind of recap? Or I don't know if you'll have the complete comprehensive plan at that point, but just close to it in terms of, so we can see how that particular thing might fit in. Is that doable?
Absolutely, and we can do it anytime you want. Our
Okay.
Public Works Department works on a plan designed by engineers that is more comprehensive than most counties and parishes in this country, I would argue, and that's due to the very hard work of our Public Works Department, our engineers, both internally and the engineers that we've contracted with, and I think you guys are happy every time you see it. So doesn't never hurt our feelings to come back and brief on it.
Okay.
And I'll defer to the council. If you want us to brief on just downtown, we can. If you want us to brief on downtown and the overall watershed, which I would recommend because they feed off each other within this comprehensive plan, but I will defer to you and answer any or let the experts answer any questions that Chad lines up.
That'd be good. Was thinking downtown in relationship to this particular ordinance we're discussing, but if you want to do
whatever you want.
If we want to do that. V, can we put on when we kind of a heads up on when they come back with the update on this ordinance? Can we also put on the agenda just an update on the downtown drainage progress?
And that's the only reason why I was referencing it, because we allocated specific funds specific to downtown. So that's why I was taking that approach. Sure.
I mean, if we pull it out of the whole watershed, will it make more sense if we do it together? I mean, if we just do the downtown, I'll defer to the engineers and, I mean.
You know, I
it's-
always like to look at it from a comprehensive approach, but don't take everybody's teach
No,
their
I mean,
own.
We can do it all. Yeah, we'll be here till midnight. Give me a.
It depends.
I don't think so. I don't think it'll take that long.
I mean, if you're comfortable doing the whole thing the same night, yeah, let's just put it all out there so we can put.
I'm here to work with the council, whatever.
You always say that.
Well, it's true. And y'all can come.
Bring a sleeping bag and a pillow, maybe, yeah.
No, it may even be beneficial for you guys to come look at it, what you have, and just maybe make a determination after you look how extensive it is, because what I don't want to do is downplay the 2 years of work that's been very extensive.
And I don't either. I think that's why I'd like to present it publicly so we can share that with the public, because y'all have done a lot of work. I feel like that would be something we can share. So if y'all are comfortable with that, V has that on the schedule for a month, maybe 6 weeks, depending on when we come back with the ordinance, and we can go from there. So, all right. I'm not seeing any more council discussion on this particular ordinance from the council. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's go ahead and vote.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. The motion to adopt is approved.
All right, let's move to joint ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker forms are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply.
Joint Ordinance 22-2022, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 21-22 operating budget and adjusting manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by reallocating the Secretary 1 position from the Human Services Division Loans Section to the Housing and Federal Programs Division, and by increasing the hourly pay rate of the same Secretary 1 position within the Community Development and Planning Department.
I have a motion for Mr. Lazard, a second for Ms. Hebert. Not seeing any council discussion. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Let's vote.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 23-2022, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 21-22 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $122,589.46 in home investment partnerships funds received from the payment of loans funded by the Home Program, and appropriating funds within the Community Development and Planning Department.
I have a motion for Mr. Nottingham, a second for Ms. Hebert. Not seeing any council discussion. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Let's vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3? Yes. The motion to adopt is approved.
All right, moving on to consider appointments by the council as a whole to boards and commissions. Cindy, please read the appointment.
Appointment to the Lafayette Parish Bayou Vermilion District Board for the remainder of an unexpired 4-year term through September 30th, 2022, and the upcoming 4-year term effective October 1st, 2022.
All right, the resumes received for consideration are from Roxanne M. Bork, Sandy S. Leger, and Samuel M. Oliver. There is no incumbent. I need to ask for a nomination. Oh, I see Ms. Hebert's on that already.
I'd like to nominate Roxanne.
All right. Okay, we want to buzz off? Mr. Lazard?
Well, we'll take them one at a time, right? So we're going
to... Okay, all right. Okay, very good. All right. So we have a nomination for Ms. Roxanne Bork. Any council discussion on that? Oh, Mr. Nottingham.
Ms. Sandy Leger.
Okay. We have another nomination, Ms. Sandy Leger. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's go ahead and call for the vote. Either would be either Bork or Leger.
District 5?
Bork.
District 2?
Leger.
District 3?
Bork.
District 4?
Bork.
Roxanne Bork is appointed. Appointment to the Lafayette Parish Bayou Vermilion District Board for the remainder of an unexpired 4-year term through September 30th, 2024.
All right. Again, 3 resumes were received, Ms. Bork, Ms. Leger, and Mr. Oliver, and Ms. Bork is already nominated and actually been placed on one of those vacancies, so we have Ms. Leger and Mr. Oliver left. I have a, Mr. Ntia, you still have the floor. Would you like to make a nomination? Oh, okay. Mr. Lazard?
Nominate Sam Oliver.
Okay, you want to press off from it? Mr. Nottingham?
Leger.
All right, so we have a nomination for Ms. Leger and a nomination for Mr. Oliver. Any council discussions? I'm not seeing any. Any public comments again?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's call for the vote, either Leger or Oliver.
District 2,
Leger.
District 3,
Oliver.
District 4,
Oliver?
District 5.
Oliver.
Samuel Oliver is appointed. Appointment to the Lafayette Airport Commission for a 4-year term effective November 1st, 2020.
All right, the resumes received for consideration are from Mr. Tim J. Bro, Chris J. Dugali, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, excuse me, and Mr. Ravis K. Martinez. Let's see, Ms. Bear.
I'd like to nominate Tim Bro.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Lazard.
I would like to nominate Ravis Martinez.
All right. Not seeing any other nominations. Any council discussions on this one? Not seeing any. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's call for the vote, either Bro or Martinez.
District 3,
Bro.
District 4,
Bro?
District 5,
Martinez.
District 2.
Bro.
Timothy Bro is appointed. Appointment to the Evangeline Thruway Redevelopment Team for the remainder of an unexpired 4-year term to December 31st, 2023.
All right, the resume received for consideration is from one Mitzi Moss Duyaw. There is no incumbent. Someone like to officially nominate Ms. Duyaw?
You got it. Ms.
All
Duval.
right, Mr. Lazard has nominated Ms. Duyaw. I'm not seeing any council discussion, any public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, okay, you know what to do. Here we go, call for the vote.
District 4,
Duyaw.
District 5,
Duyon.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3. Misty Duval is appointed.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to introductory ordinances. I'd like to remind everyone that item number 23 is pulled from In Globo list for separate vote and discussion. I need a motion and a second to introduce items 21, 22, and 24 through 29 in Globo. I have a motion from Mr. Nakhan, a second from Ms. Bear. Cindy, please read.
City Ordinance 38, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council approving a conditional use permit to allow a bar lounge in a downtown zoning district, case number ZON 2022-0006, 110 East Cypress Street and 203 Jefferson Street, conditional use permit located generally north of Lee Avenue, east of East Cypress Street and south of Jefferson Street. City Ordinance 39, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the Lafayette Development Code so as to reclassify case number ZON 2022-0009, 107 West Bend Ridge rezoning located generally north of Barracuda Street, west of Plateau Road, and south of Vero School Road, the particular parcel being rezoned from residential single-family to residential mix. City Ordinance 41, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the Lafayette Development Code and the official map of the City of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the City of Lafayette, Louisiana, case number ZON 2022-0011, 200 block North Dugas Road annexation, located generally north of the Best Road, west of North University Avenue, and south of North Dugas Road, and assigning a zoning classification of residential single-family District 1. City Ordinance 42, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council approving a conditional use permit to allow a bar lounge in a downtown zoning district, case number ZON 2022-0012, 902 Johnson Street, conditional use permit, located generally north of Jefferson Street, west of Johnson Street, and east of Calumet Place. City Ordinance 43, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council naming the old City Hall building located at 735 Jefferson Street in honor of Philip Arley Lank. City Ordinance 44, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 21-22 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $293,882.32 from completed projects to the Park Auto du Centerville Parking Garage Elevator Modernization Project for additional funding needed and appropriating within the Public Works Department. City Ordinance 45, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a pole attachment and wireless facility attachment agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS LLC. City Ordinance 46, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council declaring the 5 buildings or structures located at 1421 Southeast Evangeline Thruway, Lafayette, Louisiana, owned by Sunshine Hospitality LLC through its sole members, Karam Ali and Altaf Panwani, care of Gerald J. Block, attorney appointed, to be dilapidated and dangerous to the public welfare, and ordering the condemnation of same.
All right, any council discussion? I'm seeing Mr. Lazard, you are still, you have any council discussion? You're still, okay, all right. I'm not seeing any public comments on these.
We have one person signed in for number 45, which is in reference to the New Singular Wireless Lavore Greenhouse, only if you have question, and he does support the ordinance.
Okay, very good. I'm not seeing any questions. All right, so I'd like to call for the vote to introduce in globo items 21, 22, and 24 through 29.
District 5,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to introduce items 21, 22, and 24 through 29 is approved. City Ordinance 40, 2022, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the Lafayette Development Code so as to reclassify case number 0N-2022-0010, 804 and 806 North St. Antoine Street rezoning, located generally north of Arthur Street, east of North St. Antoine Street, and south of Ena Street, the particular parcels being rezoned from residential single-family to residential mix.
I need a motion and a second. I have a motion from Mr. Lazard, a second from Ms. Hebert. I am going to read a statement from Mr. Pat Lewis because this is his district, and he says, I regret my absence this evening. However, regarding item number 23 on the agenda before you, Introductory City Ordinance number CO040-2022, I respectfully request that you do not move this item forward and that you defeat this proposal tonight. The subject location of this rezoning attempt falls within my council district. Residents who attended the meeting, who I have consulted and who have consulted me, feel as though the RM1 zoning designation would be punitive to the neighborhood, with which I am in agreement. Please give strong consideration to my request of you on behalf of my constituents residing within the vicinity of the North St. Antoine Street corridor. So, any council discussion on this item? There you go.
So just for point of clarification, procedurally, right? I guess if no one moves to introduce it, it automatically dies, correct? Or do we have to?
We've already introduced
We have
it.
a motion on the floor, so if
Okay.
you vote
Yeah.
no,
We still have to
it will
vote on it.
defeat the ordinance.
That's correct,
We've already introduced
If
it.
that's the will
I
of the
stand corrected. Okay.
Okay, so you're good?
Yes.
All right, I'm not seeing any other council discussions. Any public comments?
Yes, ma'am, we do have 7 citizens who did not wish to speak, either called in or signed in tonight in opposition to the ordinance, and we do have one speaker, Barbara George. Is she here? Okay, well, she signed in to speak, but then she signed in opposition. She must have to leave.
Okay.
So no other speakers, Madam Chair.
All right, then let's call for a vote to introduce the ordinance.
Okay. District 2,
No.
District 3,
No.
District 4,
Nope.
District 5.
No.
The motion to introduce fails.
All right, let's join introductory ordinances. Moving on. Cindy, please read.
Joint Ordinance 24, 2022, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Chapter 70 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances by enacting Article 4 Mobile Food Establishments regarding the permitting and operation of same and establishing penalties for violations and amending Chapter 89 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances by amending Article 2, Section 89-21-2, use table, and Section 89-21D related to mobile food establishments.
All right, I have a motion for Mr. Lazard, a second for Mr. Nakhan. We have a proposed amendment to include new sections to recognize a credit already paid this year by current permittees. So I'll ask you to pull that out if everyone has a copy of that. Is legal, would you like to just maybe give us a recap of that?
Do you want to put a motion on the floor for the amendment now?
Sure. I have a motion from Mr. Nakhan, second from Mr. Lazard. Can we actually have council discussion? Mr. Escott? Or Mary? Come on up, Mary. We can have everybody. Come on up. We can all talk about it.
I've been replaced.
Sorry, Paul.
Mary Slyman, Community Development Planning Director. You're probably good with that, though, Paul.
Yeah.
Since I asked you to draft the amendment.
Yeah, he's smiling about it. Huh? Don't worry,
Perfectly
we'll
fine.
have a question for you. Don't worry.
Okay, so the $200 is showing a credit of $100 that they've already paid, since they paid $200 in January. $100 for the first 6 months, $100 for the second 6 months. So we gave them that $100 credit on the $300 permit.
So that's basically all this is saying. We're giving them a credit. Okay,
For the first year.
correct. And then the next year, from
And
year
then in
on, it'll be-
July
it'll be-
23, when we send out the renewals, it'll be the 300 moving forward.
Okay, all right.
Correct.
Any council discussion on that? Everybody's good with that amendment? All right. Any public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's call for the vote from the council to amend. Thank you, Mary.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
The motion to amend to include new sections to recognize a credit already paid this year by current permittees is approved.
All right, any council discussion on ordinance as amended? I'm not seeing any. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, ma'am.
All right, let's call for a vote on the council to introduce as amended.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The motion to introduce as amended is approved.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Anything? We want to talk about anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, I adjourn the city council meeting. Thank you all for coming.